Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring why people travel.
Yeah, we're going to unpack that travel bug.
We'll look at what makes us want to pack our bags and head out into the world.
Exactly. And, planning a trip can be kind of overwhelming, right?
Oh, totally.
So we're going to break down a really simple and effective way to plan your next big adventure.
Love that. And of course, no travel deep dive would be complete without talking about the airport experience,
Oh, yeah. Got to get there, right?
especially the whole boarding process.
Uh-huh. We'll demystify it all, make it super easy, even for first-time flyers.
So, to kick things off, let's dive into the big question. Why do we travel?
Yeah. Why do we subject ourselves to, long flights and jet lag and all that?
Yeah, it's not always easy, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's expensive and stressful, and,
Yeah.
sometimes things just don't go according to plan.
Definitely. But there's got to be a reason we keep coming back for more, right?
Right. I mean, what is it about travel that draws us in?
Well, one of the sources we're looking at today points out this really interesting idea. You know how humans seem to have this inherent need to explore?
Almost like we're programmed to be curious.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're always searching for something new, something exciting outside of our everyday lives.
But travel is more than just a vacation. It's like a deep-seated need.
Yeah, the source uses this word inadequate to describe this feeling like there's always something missing.
Inadequate. Wow, that's a strong word.
It is, but think about it. Like, there's always this sense that there's something more to discover out there in the world, and traveling helps us fill that void.
Almost like travel kind of like activates us in a way.
Yeah, I like that it shakes us out of our routine,
Uh,
and forces us to engage with the world differently.
totally. Our senses come alive when we're in a new environment, right?
For sure, even simple things become these mini adventures.
Like trying to order a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, or figuring out the public transportation system.
I remember this one time I was trying to make a cup of tea in a hostel kitchen in Nepal.
Oh, tell me that was an experience.
It was a total experience. The kettle was, let's just say it had seen better days.
Oh, no.
So I had to use a pot instead and then figure out the whole gas stove situation, which was completely different from what I was used to back home.
See, that's the beauty of travel. It pushes you to adapt, problem solve, think on your feet.
Exactly. You learn so much about yourself when you're outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And of course, there's the thrill of seeing those iconic landmarks with your own eyes.
Right? The Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, the Colosseum.
Experiencing different cultures, tasting new foods.
It's about creating those personal connections with the world.
Yeah, making memories that'll last a lifetime.
One of the sources made this funny point about how experiencing the ugliness of a place is just as important as seeing its beauty.
That's an interesting perspective.
Right. It's like it gives you this more well-rounded perspective.
Makes you appreciate the beauty even more.
They used Paris as an example. They said,
Yeah.
sure, it's known for its romance and beauty, but it's also a bustling city.
Right, with its fair share of, less glamorous aspects.
Exactly. But seeing those contrasting sides makes the whole experience richer,
Like you're seeing the world in all its shades and complexities.
not just the filtered version.
I like that. And sometimes, seeing those less than perfect parts of other places makes you appreciate what you have back home.
Totally. It's like you return with this fresh perspective,
Absolutely. Travel, it's all about broadening our horizon.
understanding the world and ourselves a little bit better.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So we've uncovered some pretty deep reasons why people travel, but let's face it, actually planning a trip can feel pretty overwhelming at times.
Oh, yeah. Where do you even begin?
Right. Flights, hotels, figuring out what to see each day. It can be a lot.
It definitely can. But trust me, it doesn't have to be stressful.
Okay, I'm listening.
One of our sources lays out this super simple 3-step system for planning any trip.
3 steps. Okay, that sounds manageable. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Right. So it all starts with the getting visual, not just, daydreaming about your destination, but actually like mapping things out.
So like pulling out a good old-fashioned map.
I mean, those are great, but this source is talking about using something like Google Maps.
Oh.
It lets you really see the layout of a city or region and start plotting the spots you want to visit.
Okay, so I'm picturing like opening up Google Maps and dropping pins on all the must-see attractions.
Exactly. Restaurants, museums, parks, basically anywhere that sparks your interest.
I love that.
Or that.
And here's a little pro tip from the source. Use different colored pins or markers to categorize your points of interest.
Not as smart.
Yeah, like blue pins for historical landmarks, red pins for foodie spots, green pins for outdoor activities.
Love that. Then you can see at a glance what's clustered together.
Right. It helps you visualize your trip and start to group activities logically.
Exactly. And once you've got your map looking like a colorful masterpiece, it's time for step 2, planning your transportation.
Okay, yeah, because getting from point A to point B can make or break a trip.
Oh, for sure. Especially if you're trying to cram too much into a single day.
Guilty is charged.
Happens to the best of us. That's why this step is so important.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Research how long it takes to get between cities, or even just from one neighborhood to another.
Right.
Think about whether you'll be using public transport, renting a car, or relying on ride-sharing services.
Got it.
Factor in that travel time so your itinerary isn't totally unrealistic.
This is making me realize I need to build in more breathing room into my travel plans.
Huh.
It's so tempting to try and squeeze everything in.
It is, but trust me, a little flexibility goes a long way.
Okay, flexibility noted.
And speaking of flexibility, here's a bonus tip for step 2. When you're booking accommodations, look for places with free cancellation policies.
Oh, that's a good one.
You never know what might come up, so it's always good to have that safety net.
I'm definitely a planner, but I've learned that things don't always go exactly as planned, especially when you're traveling.
Truth, so it's good to have options.
Options are key. So we've got our destinations mapped out, transportation sorted, and a flexible mindset. What's the final step?
Finding the perfect place to stay.
All right, so we've tackled why we travel and how to plan this amazing trip.
Yeah.
But now comes the part that can be a little intimidating, especially for first-time travelers, navigating the airport.
Oh yeah, airports can definitely be a little overwhelming.
All the hustle and bustle, the crowds, the announcements. It can be a lot to take in.
But don't worry, we're going to break down that boarding process step by step so you can breeze through it with confidence.
I love that breeze through it. That's the goal.
Right?
All right, so let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
What's the first thing we need to do when we arrive at the airport?
Well, first things first, you got to check in.
Right.
You can usually do this at the airline's counter, but nowadays many airlines offer online check-in or even mobile check-in.
Oh yeah, online check-in is a game changer. You can select your seat print, your boarding pass, all from home. Saves so much time at the airport.
Yeah, super convenient.
Yeah.
Once you've checked in, if you have luggage to check, you'll head over to the bag drop counter for your airline.
Make sure those bags are tagged properly and within the airline's weight limits.
Definitely. Don't want to get hit with any extra fees.
Okay, bags are checked. What's next?
Next up, the security checkpoint.
Yes, the security checkpoint.
This is where things can feel a little more intense.
Right. Got to take off your shoes, put your electronics in those bins, walk through the scanner.
It's all about safety, though. Just remember to have your boarding pass and ID ready to show the security personnel.
And try to pack your carry-on bag in a way that makes it easy to remove liquids and electronics.
Oh, yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than holding up the line while you're digging through your bag.
Been there, done that. Okay, so we're through security, feeling good. Now what?
Now it's time to find your gate.
All right, gate mission.
Your gate number will be on your boarding pass.
Okay, got it.
Airports can be large and confusing, so don't be afraid to ask for directions if you need them.
Always good advice. And make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get to the gate.
Right. Aim to arrive at least 30 minutes before your scheduled departure time.
Airlines are pretty strict about those boarding deadlines.
Yep. So once boarding begins, listen carefully for the announcements. They'll usually call for passengers needing special assistance or with young children first.
Oh, right, and then they'll often board by rows or groups.
Exactly. When they call your group, just have your boarding pass ready and show it to the gate agent.
They'll scan it, and then you're all set to board the plane.
Find your seat, stow your carry-on luggage in the overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
And then you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
That's it. You've officially made it.
We've gone from understanding the deeper reasons behind why we travel all the way to successfully boarding a plane.
You're now equipped to plan your next adventure and navigate the airport like a pro.
So what are you waiting for? The world is out there waiting to be explored. Safe travels, everyone.